Hi, welcome to Gafferman. My guest today, the microphone blushes when he hosts it. From Wild Child to Big Brother Africa, Nigeria Idol, The Voice, AMVC. It's safe to call him the Lord of Hosts. Now I feel what John the Baptist felt that day when Jesus walked to that tiny river in Jordan. Today, my mentor, my leader, whom I'm not even worthy to tie his shoelace, Osakioduwa. Welcome to Gafferman.
That is an intro, bro. That is an intro. Like, my goodness.
You know, I was learning while I was
No,
lighting
you
you up.
surpassed the masters. Forget. That is an intro. What?
You're
Lord.
welcome. It's a
I have to
privilege
go back
have
and
you.
start working on myself. I'm like, what? If you toast a babe shoe, I go. Forget. That's mad. Very nice. Nice to be here, man. Congratulations on Gaffer
Thank
Show,
you
man.
so much. Thank you so much. You know,
Gaffer-
it's like my
Gafferman
day
Show.
one to like your day 1000 or
No,
something.
bro. Your speed, your trajectory, everything about your growth has been inspiring to me.
Thank you so
You know,
much. Thank you. It's a privilege to hear that.
Being able to see, to join your journey. I wasn't at the start, but to join your journey at some point and then to see
2015.
how far you've gone in just such a short time, bro.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
amazing.
You know, you are the boss.
You were always a boss. I met you as a boss. No, but you know, I don't know if people know this, but when I met Godwin, I had a TV show called Highlights with that guy. And he came in and literally saved the show. We were shooting this great show. It was very expensive. It was a hard show to shoot, but we were really struggling with the lights. And he came in one day, and in one day, Godwin was like, "Yeah, I can fix this," and he just literally did without fussing, without making noise. And then he wanted to leave us and go. I said, go, come first, come. You don't fix things. You don't fix things and walk away from me. I'm sorry. You're with us for life. And that's how we've been brothers since then. So I met you as a boss. I didn't meet you at the start of your journey. And to see you evolve, to diversify and to increase all the things you do, it's just a blessing to watch that growth.
Thank you so much.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so like we see you, we envy you, we in a good way. We want to be like you. Well, how did he start?
Please be richer than me.
Sir?
I said, please be richer than me. I mean, but I hear you. I hear what you're saying. It's been quite a journey. It started for me. You know, if what people want to know is usually the stuff in the limelight. Yeah. So I would have said, it started around 2003, but that's not true. It started for me in like secondary school. You know, it started for me in university. That's why whenever people come to me and say, I want to be a host, well, what should I do first? I want my first show to be Big Brother. I'm like, okay, calm down. Start wherever you are. Yeah. The statement I make to people who are out there saying, I want to be a host, my first statement is start wherever you are. There's always something to host.
True.
You know, whether it's a church program, a family meeting. Exactly. And it sounds like a joke when I say it, but it's the truth. A family meeting, a church program, a traditional wedding, if that's even big, that's even high. Yeah. You know, start from wherever you are. Your club, you know, in school. Yeah. I'm sure they have things that they do. Host those things, you know. And you're gathering experience with each event you host, you're gathering experience. So today, when I host a major show and something goes wrong and I think of something out of nowhere and fix it. It's not just that I'm a genius, it's that I have years of experience with different kinds of scenarios. Yeah. So it's easier for me to make that quick decision. If I do this, what will happen? Yeah. You know, because I've seen crowds react to different kinds of, you know, stimuli. So for me, I always say start wherever you are. For me, I started in secondary school, hosting events, playing in talent shows, taking part in stage plays and dramas. And then in university, I didn't stop. I was a part of one big opera, like about three musical dramas. Oh, wow. I've hosted a ton of things. If there was ever anything to host, I hosted it. I wanted to host it. A family meeting. I've always wanted to host. So I started early and it was just fun and games back then in secondary school. But the first paying gig, I would say, was around 2002. Wow. You know, my first paid engagement was around 2002.
Before then, it was just free.
It was free jobs. It was free work. Even while I was in school, I had started hosting shows on television on AIT. I was hosting a show on AIT. Never really got paid for it, but but I am
Yeah.
grateful for the opportunity that it gave me. That was my first foray into TV. A gentleman named Silas Hassan was in, like just scouting for talent, and I don't know how, but he noticed me. I was like, "Oh, you look good. You speak well.
Yeah.
How would you like to be on TV?" I jumped at it. So he took me and two friends of mine, a lady called Talani Keru and was it Benita? Yeah, to be a part of the show.
Okay.
And we hosted for a straight year. We were just hosting TV, on TV. It was for passion. It was for love. We really didn't make any money off of it, but
That
it was
again,
great.
at that point too.
No, we did. We did, but that was while I was in school. That was around 2000 or maybe 1999. We worked for a straight year on TV on AIT. The Campus Circuit was the name of the show. We did it. It was great. But I was wetting my feet. Yes, maybe they could have paid us. They probably should have paid us. But I wouldn't change it. I would still go back and have hosted that show because at the end of the year, in fact, I did it for longer than a year. At the end of that period, I could say I had experience. I could put it on my CV.
Yeah.
I had more experience than a person who was still went behind the ears to say they
Waiting
wanted
for
to
the big
apply.
one, yeah.
So when it was time to apply for other jobs, I already had
There's something
experience
to,
on TV.
Right.
I had stuff I could show that this is my real if I wanted to. So it was helpful to me.
You're a host too on radio,
Yeah.
and then you had this very interesting name. Was it to conform to what was happening already?
So radio. Okay. So radio started before TV.
Okay.
Radio started for me in the 90s, in the late 90s. I think around 97, 98.
Okay.
I found around 98, I think. Maybe 99. I'm not sure, but in the 90s. And I got to audition for a radio station, which in itself wasn't an easy job. I had auditioned everywhere. I had gone to, first I started applying at Cool FM. That didn't work out. I went to Rhythm, but at the time they said they didn't have space. I went to Ray Power.
Whoa.
Now, for those of you who at home sitting down pretty in your houses, Ray Power is in Alagbado, if I remember right.
Whoa.
Is it Alakuko or Alagbado? Alagbado. And then, that journey from VGC where I lived to Alagbado,
That's a journey.
that's like Ijebu-Ode. I'm not even joking. Then, it was like going to Ijebu-Ode. It was a journey. And this was blind faith. There was no, come for auditions. I went there several days, went there to hustle my way into an audition, hoping for a place either on AIT or on Ray Power.
Yeah.
Didn't work out. At the end of it, eventually I decided to settle down and really chase what I wanted. I said, what would you like? And I said, okay, you know what? A radio station I wouldn't mind working for that I think I would enjoy is Rhythm.
Radio.
And so I went to Rhythm and I decided, no how. Or die, not die.
I'm going to tell you.
I'm going to be here. You will give me this job. So I auditioned. Femi Showolu was the head of the department at the time. He liked my audition. He said, yeah, but you know what? We don't really have space now. So I don't know that we can give you the job. I said, no problem. So I didn't argue with him.
Wow.
So you say space, that's your problem. No problem. I just started showing up there every morning for a month.
A whole month.
A full month. I was there every morning. I would just come and sit down there reception. So she's like, didn't you see Femi yesterday? That's the reception. So I'm like, yeah. He told me there's no space. But somebody's going to mess up at some point. Then they sack that guy. They won't need to go far. I'm going to be here. It was ridiculous. Now that I think about it, it was a bit crazy.
It is.
But I sat there. So one day he heard that this boy has been sitting in this reception. Do you understand?
Waiting for you to fire someone.
Waiting for you to fire somebody. And so he kept saying, listen, there's no space, there's no space, there's no space. Now, if I'm going to be entirely honest, that was not, if I was a motivational speaker, I would just lie to you that that's how I got this job. But then that didn't really work. It kept my name in his mind, but it didn't really work. I was there coming back to back.
Because you showed up.
I showed up. So he remembered me, but he didn't give me the job from there. What happened was a friend of mine was pitching to the radio station about a website, that he could make a website for them and blah, 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 blah. Whether it was chance or whether it was that he engineered it, so I don't know. But he had my show reel,
Oh.
you know. So when he was showing them, okay, if you click here, this will happen. If you click here, so in the listen now button, so it's like if you click on this listen now button, you have this. So he plays my show reel. So the president of the company was like, "Is that one of my staff?" He said, "No, he's not."
Wow.
He said, "Who's that?" He said, and told him my name. It was like, that guy doesn't work for me. Does he work for another radio station? He said, "No."
What is he doing?
He said,
there?
"What's he doing?" He said, he's been applying to your station. Matter of fact, it's probably your reception right now. He's been going to your office for a month. So they literally called me. And that was one of the first days I had not gone to they said, "Are you at Rhythm?" I said, "No, I'm back in school," because I was in Unilag at the time. They said, "Come, you've gotten the job at Rhythm." Straight up. So that's how I got the job. Femi Olagbaye was the name of the friend who was doing the presentation. And so eventually I got the job at Rhythm and started working there. Now you asked the question, why Wild Child? Was that to conform?
Yeah.
At the time, there was another IK on radio, on Cool FM. I don't remember his surname, but he was a weekend presenter. But he was kind of popular at the time, you know. So I realized I'm the underdog coming in to take a name that somebody else has
built.
What I didn't want was to start the show and it would be great. And so I'd say, "Oh, are you IK so?" And I'll say, No, me, I'm the new one. Do you understand? It's me, I'm the other. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I didn't want that. Also, what I didn't want was that if I did something great, he would get the credit for it.
Because so see him. Well,
exactly. See, so he was the established IK, and I didn't want to drag with him. So I told God I wanted a new name. You know, I wanted a name that I could use that, you know, would be great. And this is going to sound crazy, but I was fasting and praying and saying, "God, I need a new name for this radio gig that I'm going to do. I don't want to use IK because I don't want to be the second class IK or the second rate citizen IK. He's better than me. He's been at it for a while. And I don't want to, you know, whatever's clashing." So one day I'm showering and God's like, "Hey, listen, man, you're going to be called the Wild Child," you know.
So even in this process, it's a point to reach out to God.
Bro, throughout the process, you have to have God on your side. Yeah, I know people like to be funky and cool and do like they did it based on their skill, their talent. But who gives the skill? Who gives the talent? It's really God, right? So, and then what makes one gifted person different from another? What makes one person have fame and fortune based on one talent, and another person with the same talent not have fame and fortune? Or you may have fame but no fortune. Well, you know, that difference is God. You know, there's really no metric other than God that makes that difference. Exactly. So those who like to post can post, but me, I'll be honest with you, this is just a favor of God, right? So God says to me, "You're going to be called the Wild Child." So I'm like, sounds one kind, but no problem.
Let's go.
You know, and so I come out the shower. I was in the shower, and I decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I go to the radio station. The guy's like, "Oh, I can." Like, no, we're going to call me the Wild Child. He's like, "Strange, but I like it. No problem." And the name catches on like wildfire everywhere I go. And I used to have a way I'd say, "The Wild Child," everywhere. So people used to love it. So when I'd go places, people would scream the name, you know, when they discover it's me. And it caught on and it became its own thing. And it became a symbol for people saying the things that they thought, but were rarely able to say. So I built this whole personality around the Wild Child. Where I could say things that were risque, say things that were on the border of bad behavior and good, but they were true. You know, I could. So I would come on the radio sometime. I was like, you guys pray for me. This morning I woke up horny. I see the way my body is doing me now. If I see anybody, I'll bite you. Do you understand? And people loved it because everybody has those days. You know, I would come on the radio and be like, "Oh, my wife was just stressing me. We're fighting. We're quarreling, but you know."
And these are things that people just keep in the dark.
Yeah, you know, people feel these things, but they don't say them. And the Wild Child used to say them. You know, so. The name became something huge, and eventually, when it was time to change, God told me to change the name. You know, so Yeah.
So you didn't just change, went back to God
No.
again.
So what it was I had used the name. The name had become very big. In fact, the name had become bigger than me. So people knew the name all over Lagos, Nigeria, and different places, but didn't recognize my face. So the name was big. It was good. So one day, I was going to MC for, I believe it was Jim Ovia, and the event planner had put my name on the program. It was MDCEO Awards or something.
Okay.
Or Chairman's Dinner, I think it was. And the event planner had put my name, The Wild Child, as the MC. Now, Jim Ovia is a proper guy, right? He's a serious man. All right, so he saw the program. He's like, let me see the program. He was like, wait,
How did this name get here?
He said, are you people jokers? Your chairman's event, chairman's dinner is what I call this event. And you have somebody called a wild child. He's a child and he's wild to come and host it. He's like, look, you remove this name from there. He didn't know me. So he was like, remove this name. They removed it and just wrote Ike Osakioduwa. So I was like, okay. The event planner called me before she changed it. She was like, would you be okay if I did this, represent you as this? Said, which means on the day you can't use the name Wild Child, you just have to use Ike Osakioduwa. Are you fine with that? I said, no problem. So she represented it to him. And they said he was just like, well, okay, I don't know this one, but at least we know his head is correct. Yeah. Do you understand? And he was fine with it. So that said something to me. There's a portion of corporate Nigeria that may listen to your radio show, but they don't want anything to do with anything that's toxic or badly behaved or wild or inappropriate. So you can't animate right from the jump like that. You have to present yourself in a way that would be more attractive. So immediately it was instructive to me, and I just felt God telling me that it was time to change back to Ike Osakioduwa. The reason I was Wild Child was only because there was somebody else who was Ike. The name Wild Child in itself was a blessing because you hear it once and you remember it. Yeah. But it had come to the point where I needed to build something that was sustainable. It was not a name I could leave to my kids. I couldn't, like someone go around and saying, oh, my name is so I'm the son of Wild Child, open door for me. Do you understand? No. But if he had my surname, right, and I was using my surname and I became popular with my surname, it would be a blessing to him. So God was like, there's a blessing in the name and it's time for you to grow your own name. So I switched back to Ike Osakioduwa, and the switch was successful. The rebrand was successful. It took people started referring to me by my name. Even the rebrand itself was social media blitz. Why did he change his name? Why is he going with his real name now? Is it because he got married? Was it his pastor that told him? And blah 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 blah. Even that was just good publicity. It helped the name to grow. Ike Osakioduwa. And so now it's a name I can leave to my children. If my son goes somewhere and he says I'm Saha Osakioduwa, then like, okay, which Osakioduwa? Is your father? Oh, your father, I've seen my daughter. Come inside, sit down, It can do things for him in the way that the Wild Child couldn't
do. So were you at any point mistaken as an Igbo person?
All the time. All the time. People hear Ike and they think I'm Igbo. And I don't have a problem with it because I'm not a tribalist, and also in university it helped me date Igbo girls. What's your name? Ike. I'm like, anyone you pick I will answer.
This one's name is good.
Do you understand? And then it's only when you get to the house and they say, the father's like, which Ike? Which Ike is your own? And I'm like, what? Say? So I'm often mistaken. Till today, many people think I'm Igbo when they think, Ike, and it's fine. If the Igbo people like me because of it, it's okay. I'm yours. If the Edo people are happy with me, I'm yours. If Hausa guy says, what's your? I'm yours. Anyone, I'm Nigerian. True. I think of myself first as a Nigerian before I think of tribe.
Beautiful.
And that's something I hope Nigerians can also. No nation in this country, or this world rather, has ever become great building on tribal values, right? And if we're wise, we'll recognize that, if anything, the great nations of the world, right, they are nationalists. And to dominate the smaller nations, the developing nations of the world, they encourage tribalism in them. Do you understand? To separate them. Because if you're not tribalist, if you're a nationalist, we unite. Then I can say, there's no difference between me and an Igbo man. We're
True.
both Nigerian.
True.
Then I can say there's no difference between me and a Hausa man.
True.
We are both Nigerian. There's no difference between me and a Fulani man. We are both Nigerian. There's no difference between me and a Yoruba man. We are both Nigerian. And then we become one. We speak with one voice. Then we're speaking with our collective voice and interests at heart.
Exactly.
But the rest of the world doesn't want that for Nigeria. So they will always tell the Igbo man, don't trust the Hausa man. They always tell the Hausa man, don't trust the Igbo man. They tell the Hausa man, the Yoruba man wants to finish you, don't agree. So that we fight ourselves and never unite.
We never move.
Anyway, so random, that's just random. Has nothing to do with presentation, but yeah.
So there was a story you said about how at some point people were dragging who's the best on radio and all that. And then you had to sort of go back to your family name and your family function in the Benin Empire, and then it helped you to be that
kingmaker,
to call you a lot of hosts. Yeah. So tell us how that because I'm big on getting in touch with that your tribal name. There's a bigger meaning to it. Your family stand for something in your village or your town.
Yeah.
There's a value to take out of it to build yourself or encourage yourself with.
Yeah, I agree with that in that when I say I'm a nationalist and I'm not a tribalist, people think I'm trying to throw away all tribal values, all tribal blessings, and that's not true. There's definitely a benefit to knowing where you come from and appreciating what it is that's special and unique about your people. Now, in certain tribes, you have kings, you have chiefs, leaders, and in some families that is passed down in a particular line of families, right? Some tribes it's passed down a particular line of families. Sometimes it rotates around certain lines. Where I come from, if you track our history, we are kingmakers by calling, right? We're not in line for the throne. We're not called to be kings, right? But we are kingmakers in a sense, in that we help in the coronation of the king. We help in the selections of the kings. It may rotate around a specific number of families, but we help in that process of determining where the crown lies. So I have taken that to mean that I'm never going to be in competition with any king. I'm a kingmaker. If you put me in your company, in an advertising company, I will help your brands to become kings in the market. That because that's what we do as a tribe, as my particular tribe, right? My particular family. That's what we've been. If you track our history, right? So I'm not trying to be the best presenter in Nigeria. I may become the best presenter in Nigeria. I'm not trying to be the best presenter in Africa. I may become the best presenter in Africa. What I am trying to do is make kings of all the media that have been placed in my hands. I want to make my channel the best. I want to make sure if I'm working for Africa Magic, if it's the AMVCAs, I want this to be the best show. I want it to be the king of award shows in Nigeria. While I was hosting Big Brother, I wasn't trying to be the best presenter in Nigeria. I was trying to make the show the best of its kind. So now I'm hosting Nigerian Idol. I want it to be the biggest and the best music show.
To create the experience.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make a king of the product that you've placed in my hands. And that's what I do with my life. And in doing that, it does give you fame and fortune. It does put you in a place of prominence. It does set you apart from the rest. Where people outside might say you are the best, but in your heart, you've got to speak the truth to yourself. I'm not trying to compete with anybody. Do you understand? I'm happy for kings to come up around me. It's what I'm called to do, to associate with kings, to make kings, and to help kings rule.
You taught me while I was working with you on Comedy Night, highlights like not to coast.
Yeah.
When you get these big gigs, is it like, oh guys, load up the car, it is a new job again, let's go? Or you still have some fries, you're still trying to work to make it look different? Because I was at the place where somebody says, after Ike's intro or performance on on AMVC, I just change to another channel. That's it for me. So so is it like every gig you get, you still have that?
So just yesterday,
Yeah.
I was saying to my assistant Peter, I said, look, we have to be careful not to become complacent, to coast, not to settle into established success.
Yeah.
You know, like there's sometimes you've hosted 6 weddings, for instance, right? And you have a formula you've devised that makes the weddings great.
Yeah.
And so by the time the 7th wedding comes, you want to just take that formula that you used for the first 6 and apply it, like a template or something, and hope that it works. And sometimes, and most times, it will. But you have to keep trying. You've got to push the envelope. You've got to decide. I want to do more. I want to do different. You know. So I was telling him that I was just saying to myself that we've got to change our format on a lot of things. We have a lot of established success in TV shows, in hosting and emceeing gigs. I said, but we've got to take this thing where it has never gone. We need to do new. So we introduced a few new things with the show we did last night, and it worked brilliantly. And I was like, thank God we tried. But I'm always nervous. Every time
Nervous?
nervous.
Okay.
Like every time I'm about to try something I haven't tried before, bro, I'm nervous on a whole different level. I either become chatty or moody. I'm nervous, like, will this thing work?
Yeah.
And it helps to have a support system around you. People around you who are like, yeah, try it. Don't be scared. Go for it,
Stuff like that.
And Peter is one of those people. He's always like, yeah, no, let's try it. It will work. It will work. Don't worry, try it. And then when you try it and it works, it's the most beautiful feeling. But you have to manually reset because your system is built to enjoy autopilot.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but we reset often.
So, you had comedy shows and all that, but you're not
a comedian. No.
And then, you still present some sets that are interesting. Have you ever been mistaken for a comedian?
Funny enough, when I started,
that
was my goal. I thought I could be a comedian. I used to. I loved the old guard of comedians, Red Fox, and people from that generation, and then the guard of comedians that came after the Red Fox generation, all the Eddie Murphys, from that generation. I loved them too. Then the younger ones that came up as well. So I thought I could be a comedian, and I studied them, and I really tried. I used to write comedy sets even before I had a stage. I used to write comedy sets and entertain my cousins, And if you know anything about comedy, it's usually better to do it with a big room than to do it with a small room. But I built myself on a small room, So I quickly realized, though, while I was aspiring to be a comedian, I quickly realized the positioning of comedy at the time in Nigeria was not respected. Comedians were treated badly in events and were paid badly. Now, as much as I wanted to be a comedian, I'm also a businessman. And I like money.
I like that.
I'm also a businessman. I like money. And I had spent some time studying branding as well. So the brand positioning of most comedians had made people treat them like school dropouts and people who just, you pay them whatever you have in your pocket. So I decided, okay, I won't be a comedian. Rather than be a comedian, I'll be a host, a presenter, an MC. And then I will add comedy to what I do. So I still do. You'll find that there are many events where I'll have comedy sets where I'll be funny and I'll do things.
They're actually funny.
And
they're deeper than just the regular ones.
Thank you. So I do a lot of those, but I decided I'm not going to make myself a comedian. Rather, I'll brand myself as an MC because I found the brand positioning was better, and the offering for the earnings from being a host were better as well. And the trajectory, the growth, possibilities were a lot better. I could see how I could grow internationally. I could grow, on TV, on radio. So I thought about it. I said, this would be better for me. So I made that shift to becoming a presenter. But many times people would come, because I'm a funny person, and I say that with just a matter of candor, not self-praise. Because I'm a funny person, many people still mistaken me for a comedian, but I'm not a comedian. But then as I started to grow, I thought about it. There was no comedy show on TV. The closest we had to a comedy show was the Charlie Boy show, which was mostly candid camera. Sometimes they would have a comedy set in the midst of the show. I was like, we have so many great comedians in Nigeria, and I say that with full respect for all the
And the show
comedians.
has actually exposed a lot of them.
Yes, thankfully we've had the opportunity to showcase brand new talent as well. So I said, okay, you know what? We don't have a comedy show, and maybe I'm the guy who can do it as a presenter, you know, and show off the comedy shows. And many people say, you're not a comedian, why do you have a comedy show? I say, you don't have to be a comedian to have a comedy show.
True.
It's their platform. I give it to them to showcase themselves. But I have the mind that is able to bring the show. It still comes back to being a kingmaker. You hang a role and whatever with kings, it doesn't make you one of them. You know, so I give full deference to all comedians out there. They're great at what they do. And I'm simply blessed to have a platform where I can showcase their talent.
We still see you in movies here and there. I was even thinking at some point you produce your movies.
I'm going to.
Yeah, because
I'm going to.
you have a lot of experience.
I just don't, it still comes back to nerves, being nervous. And I'm also I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and perfectionists are sometimes underachievers because they get paralyzed just trying to perfect the thoughts in their mind. Meanwhile, you don't need to. You know, I don't need to understand everything about lights to have a great show. I just need to know Godwin. You know, I need to know a Chinedu for sound. I need to know a James Omokwe for directing. I need to know people who can handle the cameras and do that well. I don't need to be the best camera person or director to produce TV shows. So it comes back to being a perfectionist and overthinking and the thinking paralysis that happens. But I will produce a movie. My friend James Omokwe has been telling me, do it, just do it. You know, you've done this thing now. Just do it, Jerry.
You can bring in anybody.
You know, he's like, you know all of us now. Do it. You know, so I'm like, okay.
Some of us will pull up our truck for free.
I appreciate that. He has it on camera, people. He said it right here on the Gaffer Man show. So the day I call Godwin, if he tries himself, we'll roll back this podcast and show him what he said.
Some of us will pull up our truck for free.
He said it right here on the Gaffer Man shows. You know, but for real, I'm going to try that.
And then you have a radio station.
Yes. Yes.
And then it's just there. Nobody changes the dial. That's my boss.
The radio station was such a challenge for me. I used to work for Silverbird Rhythm 93.7, and I worked there for 18 years. 18 years, yeah. And I believe in really serving well under people. It does several things for you. It helps you understand the process of building a company, a brand, and all of that. And it also helps you know what it takes to treat your staff well.
True.
You know, and I learned that there. I learned the best way to treat staff. I learned how things that make companies successful. And even from the company's mistakes, you learn things that you can change and improve on. So that was good for me. But then when it came time to start the radio station, I had no idea how much determination it would take to just get that license. For 8 years to apply, and they told no, for 8 years, and to be fighting back. 8 years. To be fighting back through the 8 years to say, well, this was your reason for denying me. I have now met this requirement. I'm applying again. Then they will deny you again on some other ground. Then you say, okay, well, this was your reason. I have now met this classification. I am applying again for 8 years. You know, to raise the money for the license was a huge deal. And then as I got the license, I had applied for a loan, which had been granted in principle, that was now cancelled because COVID happened. So I sat down there. I said, so I chased this license for 8 years. I finally got this license.
And then
now the whole world has shut down. How do I do this? And I thought to myself, you know what? I could wait around for the banks to get back to a place where they're comfortable, or I could throw myself at it. So I took everything I had, everything I owned, and I put it into this radio station, and I built it up out of pocket. So it took me out of pocket. But it took me a long time. So what would have taken somebody who went to a bank and just collected maybe 1 billion naira as a loan? I've had, because I didn't have 1 billion naira, I've had to do pay as you go to build it up, to build our building. My family has been very patient with me. So other people have been enjoying their lives and enjoying their money.
Yeah, exactly.
My family members know
buildings.
as it's getting 1 million naira, that radio station is collecting the full 1 million. So we've lived very modest.
So it's painful sometimes to build something that will last.
It is very often, especially when you believe in something.
Yeah.
And other people don't quite believe in it.
You can't see
They can't see it yet. You have to choose to keep going. Many people would have waited till somebody else said, okay, I will sponsor. Okay, I'll fund it. Or I will partner with you. But I didn't. And the benefit of that is that I don't have any godfather who's pressing my neck, telling me, this is what we're doing with this station, or hire this person,
or bring this person here.
Bring this person in, or compromise this value. Let's cheat the government here. I don't have that, and so I'm able to comply with a lot of rules and regulations that other people are bending,
because you're looking at the
end goal, big picture, So it's like there's a painful part to it. Or there's a painful part, like where other people, I see many of my colleagues in the industry, they live there balling. They're buying cars, buying houses, just flossing, traveling at will, flying out every 6 weeks. And that might have been a life I could have been able to live, but I have sacrificed that full cash for this for this radio station. But the beauty of it is, I think to myself that when this radio station is fully successful and has become something awesome, my family will have a security that many other families will not. That even if Ike Osakioduwa, were to pass, they will be taken care of.
True.
So I would have achieved a level of manhood that many men never get to. Where your wealth is transgenerational.
Exactly.
Which is the goal for me.
So it's always good to keep the big picture in mind.
You have to keep that picture in mind.
But was there a time in this year becoming different thing, professional, that you wanted to give up?
Many times. I've given up entertainment before. I gave up entertainment at one point where I was tired of getting paid peanuts, and I was tired of people treating the profession without regard. And a series of things had happened. A series of things had happened at the time. I had served in one company for a very long time, and I was deserving of a huge promotion at the time, but they denied it. I had emceed for people who weren't paying well, or who would owe you and never pay you. You would chase big men with money. I'm saying my money.
After the
event, and they're not paying you. I had gone to pitch for certain jobs and been treated like trash, and I just gave it up. I said, I'm not doing it again.
Wow.
I have a degree in economics. I'm going to go back to that. I'm going to go work in a bank or something. My mother called me and said, listen to me. Said, you're going to make millions in this profession. You're not going to give it up.
Wow.
She went out, she printed business cards. Do you understand?
Your mom?
My mom went out, she printed business cards. Ike Osakioduwa, MC, entertainer, comedian. She just put all the things on the put my phone number, and everything. She puts email, everything. She printed business cards for me. Well, those were my first business cards. And she was like, you're going to go out, you're going to do it again. So when you go to one event, share these business cards to everybody. So whether they ask you or not. So sometimes just place it on the tables, waiting for the guests as they're coming. Do you understand? And it was a great idea, and it did help me expand my business. And it wasn't maybe a month after that I made my first million. It was actually 2 million. Like after she brought my checkbook, she prayed on it, said, you see this checkbook, you're going to write millions out of this. And I remember that just like it was like a month after that, I got my first 2 million from a campaign that ran.
You also pray for us. So I tell I work with a boss who will call you, pay you, and pray for you.
It's important. Your staff have to be blessed.
You're a pastor at some point?
Well, I did pastor while I was in university.
Okay.
I pastored a campus fellowship. In fact, I pastored 2 campus fellowships. I pastored in Unilag.
Okay.
I was the assistant pastor at the fellowship in Unilag, and then they decided to take on a campus fellowship in another university, which was LASU. And I went there and I pastored there while I was in Unilag. I was going across down to LASU, and if you know that journey. Yeah. Essentially.
All
You're
the
passing Maza
all,
on your
all
head.
the okokos and all
Bro.
the you pass
And
through
then,
all the Yanos in
no,
Lagos.
bro. Then I could tell you. Then I could tell you just every vendor. I could tell you what different things they were selling per junction. Butter chin chin is from here to here. Fine yogo is from there to there. I could tell you what was where, and when you see the goats that will be crying like little children. I knew every bus stop, everybody that was selling what.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't know them personally, but I knew that if you're looking for this, you find it here. It was a crazy thing. Quite a chore to do that while I was in school as well, you know. But I had an extra year in school because of my bad behavior, so so I had the time to go out there and preach and teach and stuff. And I learned in the process. One of the things that we need as people is you need somebody who's praying for you. So with the people, my team for radio, TV, I always pray for my team.
Yes,
you know, because there's got to be more than just your talent and your skill. You've got to have a blessing of God in your life. Do you understand? So, and if your team is blessed, you are blessed.
Yeah, true.
You're blessed.
You know, at some point under the car park, the Muson place, just see everybody just pulling up. Just pulling. I know when we started, there were like 3 cars. Can I follow you? Can I follow you?
I know.
And the second year, everybody's pulling up. So every day, like any day you forget to pray before you start, like, okay, let's wait for the end. And then you come, you bless everybody.
Yes.
But what, you didn't push the pastor thing further?
No, because I don't think it's something you should take lightly. I think people get called to do that job. Yeah. You know, I never felt called at the time to take. I'm available to God. If God wanted to use me, if that's the direction He wanted to take me, I would follow. Yeah. Because I believe you are most blessed where God wants you to be, not so much where you want to be, but where God wants you to be. So I'm not opposed to it, but I'm certainly not chasing it.
Really cool.
Plus, I have some craze, so I can understand why God would use a more level-headed individual.
This one, I can't defend him.
This one, just before he will scatter the church, just put him in one place. We'll use him from time to time.
Maybe when he's 75, I would say, oh yeah, come on.
Exactly, when he's now more mellow. So, Father, let's just put him where we can manage him. You know,
so your time with Airtel, how was it? How did you even get there?
That was very interesting, by the way. I was... I think I chased them, they didn't chase me. So what it was I was trying to do... There was some work I was trying to do, and there was a certain amount of money I needed to earn to do it. And I was thinking, so where can I earn this money from? And I thought, okay, you know what? I could be in an advert, I could be in a thing. And so literally I sent a message to them saying, you know what, guys, here are a few services I can offer you, you know, in case you're interested.
Like you hustled.
I hustled my way. I got phone numbers and emails, and I shot out my shot.
Even as big.
Yeah. This was while I was already popular and stuff. I had hosted Big Brother, different things. I hustled my way. I got some relevant emails, sent them messages. I said, listen, this is something I would like to do for you guys if you guys are available to it. And they said, okay, wait, hold on. So, if you had messaged us earlier, we had just commissioned a British guy to do these things for us. So someone in their group chat, I wasn't involved, was like, what are we saying? We commissioned a British man to do this when somebody in Nigeria can do it, blah, 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 blah. And they just started their internal debating. And by the weekend, they commissioned me. They were like, you know what? We're canceling that guy's contract. You're going to be the person to do it. Wow. So I was talking space of 3 days.
3 days?
3 days. So I still remember.
I'm going to draft it later.
Bro, and it was big money at the time. I can't say it here, but it was big money at the time. I still remember I was driving the email that I sent that sparked the discussion. In fact, it was a text message. I got somebody's phone number. It was a text message, and I sent the message to the person. I remember where I was when I sent the text message. I was driving by law school. I remember where I was, where by that weekend,
when you got
the money, the money showed up in my account. It was very quick. It wasn't like, oh, okay, we've agreed, you this, that, they onboard you, blah, blah, blah. It was agree, pay. So I was at an event somewhere in Oniru, and the money just showed up. Then there's some alerts that will shake you, drag your leg. I said,
what's going on?
I said, The event became a brilliant event.
What?
I became happy. Energy.
But we don't pay this money.
Do you understand? And it was very crucial to me
Yeah.
at the time because I also wanted to buy a house, and that was when the money. The first year wasn't the house money, but the second year I wanted to buy a house, and I spoke to the MD of the company. God bless him. His name is Shagun. So I said to him, "Sir, I need to do this. I know you people's payment policy is this. I said, but I want to buy a house. I don't own a house yet. I need to buy a house in Lagos, and I need you to pay me like this.
Like this.
And he said that your company won't agree. He said, don't worry. Don't worry. And
So there's a place to keep pushing.
Keep pushing. And that's where I got my first house from. That's why, because I had that interaction with them. I had done the work and they liked it the first year, and I was saying, commission me for this, that, and this in the second year. And he was like, no problem. And the money came out, and I bought a house because favor. That's why sometimes it's you can think it's your wisdom, it's your hard work, your gift, your skill, your talent, but it's favor that made it possible for me to speak to the president of the company to say, this is what I want. It goes against your principles. What can you guys do it for me? And it's favor that made him say yes. So.
And then you train people.
Yes, as much as I can.
And all that. And have you seen people in that line?
It is one of the most rewarding feelings in life to see somebody you train become a billionaire. It's one of there's a guy, one of the examples, one of the IK talks came to us, and he was, I think, either 200,000 or 500,000 naira at the time charging.
Wow.
And we trained him, and he came back and he said, I just got my first 1 million naira check. I'm like, oh boy! It's nice to see somebody's life go from a level where they're just getting by to where they're changing their lives, where they're now taking care of their parents, where they're able to get married and sustain a family. It's exciting. So I've made it one of my goals that every stage in my life, I want to be able to give success, not just money. Money is great, but I want to be able to teach people the road to success and to train people. So it's something I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, man.
So any tips for me?
Keep grinding, keep making this money, and never stop innovating. We met you as an innovator when I first met you. You were already solving problems for people.
Thank you.
And I think one of the greatest ways to make wealth is to be a problem solver. You came into my life, you solved all our problems with ease, with a great personality, you didn't do it with yanga, with arrogance. You came with
coming from
ease
I
and just solved the problem. It was like David slaying Goliath. It's like, how far? What's the problem? Okay, no. So all of you can solve this. He just came quietly, slew the Goliath, and same way you just came in with ease. Like, what's the problem? We told you in one day, do this, solve the problem. In the future, you can say, you are the future. You are the future. So keep being that person that you've always been, solving problems for people and making a change in the lives of others.
This is everything coming from you.
Thank you. And for guys at home, young people wanting to be great gaffers or great presenters or hosts, start wherever you are. Start wherever you are. If there's absolutely nowhere to start, find somebody to serve, find somebody to work for, find somebody to learn from, then do it like it's your own business. Give it your 100% like you are the only person getting paid a salary from this job. And that diligence will earn you favor. The favor will earn you promotions. And eventually, one day, you will be the person handing out jobs and wealth to other people.
Thank you very much. This is like my commissioning ceremony. Thank you, AK, for coming.
Hey, bro. We'll continue to catch you at the top.
Yes, but this is Gafferman, where you get stories you would never get anywhere else. Stay tuned.
Yeah.